Welcome to my new video in which we will talk about adjectives and specifically about comparative and superlative adjectives. What does that mean? Let's take a look at these examples. Můj bratr je starší než já. My brother is older than me. Starší is an adjective. Starší, older, and that's comparative. Starší. Nejstarší člověk žil 114 let. The oldest person lived 114 years. Nejstarší, the oldest. And this is the superlative adjective. So we have starý, old, starší, comparative adjective, nejstarší, the oldest, superlative adjective. If you didn't know these terms, don't worry about it. It helps to know it, but you don't need it for this video. I will explain the rules, how it works, why sometimes we add she, sometimes we add ejší at the end, ější. This sentence, voda je studenější než včera, means colder, and it has a different ending. So if you're wondering about the rules, how starý became starší, but studený becomes studenější. Starý, starší, studený, studenější. I will explain in this video. Jdeme na to. Ahoj, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. The most common ending for the comparative adjective is ejší or ější. And then also very common ending is she, what we saw at the beginning, like starší. And some, because they undergo some change, have just this ending. But these three are practically the most common ones. That's when we talk about something being more, as in older, for example. Starší, starší. When we talk about the third degree, the superlative, in Czech, it's very easy because once you master this degree, the comparative, then you don't have to worry about any exceptions, anything else. The only thing you have to remember that for the third degree, you need nej in front of it. So these are the endings for comparative adjectives, and for superlative, we only put nej. So imagine the word starý, old, starý, and then you want to say older in this case, and I will explain more about this in a little bit. We add she. Starší means older, older. Now, if I want to say oldest, I only have to worry about adding nej in front of it. Nej, starší means the oldest. So it's a combination of this one and this one. But like I said, once you know how to work with the second degree, the comparative adjective, you know what the form is, making the superlative, the third grade, would be very, very easy. First, let's take a look at the category where we add ejší or ější. We are going to talk about both comparative and superlative, because once you know this form, this one is very easy. First, let's focus on the ending ejší. Those are kind of adjectives where their last consonant would not typically take e and háček. When we look at the adjective pomalý, pomalý, slow, the last consonant here is L. And in Czech, L and E with háček doesn't exist. Never. Lje does not exist in Czech, as well as sje also doesn't exist. So knowing this, you can be sure that we would not say pomalější. This is not possible. So what is it that we do? For comparative, if we want to say slower, we take away that last vowel. And then we add ejší. What do we get? Pomalejší. Pomalejší. Perfect. The same thing happens with veselý, veselý, cheerful. We also have an L here, veselý. We take away the vowel and we have vesel, and then we add ejší. Veselejší. Perfect. Veselejší. More cheerful. Now tell me milý. Milý means kind, nice. How do you say nicer? And here's your solution. Milejší. Nový. Nový means new. And we can have V followed by E with háček. We are going to be adding this type of ending. So the procedure is the same. We take away the last letter. Nov is what we are left with. And then we add novější. Novější. Just because novější doesn't sound right. And this one, bezpečný. Safe. We'll have the same procedure. We are also adding this ending. We take away the last vowel. We're left with bezpečn. Bezpečn. And then we add ější. Bezpečnější. This affects the pronunciation. Bezpečnější. Ň. But the accent is over E. You might be asking, how do I know whether it's ejší or ější? Like I said, when there is a consonant that cannot take háček, like this one, L, you would add this ending. For the rest, you would be using this, ější. Then there are some exceptions, which I will mention soon. Now let's make this superlative. We had pomalý, slow, pomalejší, slower, and the slowest, nejpomalejší. So we have nejpomalejší. Nejpomalejší, the slowest. So I'm going to make the superlatives here, so we don't have to rewrite them all. Veselejší, more cheerful. And the most cheerful is simply nejveselejší. The kindest, nejmilejší. Perfect. Nejmilejší. The newest, nejnovější. The safest, nejbezpečnější. Nejbezpečnější. Super. Let's read these together. Say it with me. Pomalý. Pomalejší. Nejpomalejší. Veselý. Veselejší. Nejveselejší. Nový. Novější. Nejnovější. Bezpečný. Bezpečnější. Nejbezpečnější. Výborně. Now I have a task for you. These adjectives will need some of these endings. And I want you to make the comparative and superlative form. Let's just translate them quickly. Příjemný means pleasant. Vážný means serious. Moderní, modern. Normální, normal. Chytrý, smart. Pause the video and work on it. I'll get back to you when you're ready. So let's see what you got. Our procedure is příjemný. Get rid of the last letter and we have příjemn. Now what do we add? We are going to add příjemnější, ější here because N can be followed by E with háček. And then if you want to say the most pleasant, you'll add nej. So this is the easiest. Nejpříjemnější, nejpříjemnější. Byl to ten nejpříjemnější člověk, jakého jsem kdy viděla. He was the most pleasant person I've ever seen. Vážný, serious. So the same thing, vážn. And we are doing the same thing. N can take E with háček, vážnější, more serious, vážnější. And then we add nej for the comparative. Nejvážnější, the most serious. Moderní. Although there is an I at the end, there's nothing to worry about because it's exactly the same procedure. Modern is the core. It's what we are left with. And then we say modernější again. Modernější. And then the most modern would be nejmodernější. Super. Normální, the same thing. Normálnější. And then nejnormálnější, nejnormálnější. Chytrý. We take away the last letter. And then we have chytr. Now, here is an interesting question Do we say chytrejší or chytřejší? Neither of those, because this combination is incorrect. The háček has to migrate actually. So it would become r, chytřejší. So we are using this ending, but Czech orthography does not allow this. Chytřejší. And then we simply add nejchytřejší, the smartest. Jste nejchytřejší, you're the smartest. Perfect. So this is what happens when an adjective finishes with rý, like mokrý, wet, mokřejší, but not dobrý. Dobrý is irregular, just like in most of the languages, I imagine. Now we moved on to the category where we add ší. The process is the same. We get rid of the last vowel and then we add this ending. So the word mladý, young, we take away this last letter and then we add ší. Mladší, mladší. When Czech people pronounce it quickly, it sounds like mladší. Why? Because D is pronounced as T here, so mladší. T and sh together can often sound like ch. Mladší, mladší. I don't think a lot of people, when they speak quickly, would say mladší. You would just say mladší, mladší. Tvrdý, hard, the same procedure, tvrdší. And also it can be pronounced as tvrdší, although it's not the most proper pronunciation. Tlustý, fat. Tlustší. Tmavý, dark. Tmavší. Krátký, short. There is a K here. It's a special letter here. So let's follow our procedure. Krátkší is incorrect. It would be nice, but it's not how we would say it. What happens here? In this case, we also get rid of the K. We don't want it there. And we simply add the ending. But also in this adjective, we even get rid of the accent, which is something that can also happen. But here it's easy to remember because the word krátký means short, so it becomes even shorter by removing this ending. Kratší is shorter. It can be pronounced as kratší. Kratší. But again, it's not the proper pronunciation. The superlative forms are very easy, the same thing, you only add nej in front of them. So you would say nejmladší. So let's read these together. I'm going to pronounce it in a proper pronunciation. Tvrdý, tvrdší, nejtvrdší. Tlustý, I have a mistake here. Sorry about that. Tlustší, nejtlustší. Tmavý, tmavší, nejtmavší. Krátký, kratší, nejkratší. Let's take a look at more examples with key ending, the KY ending. Okay, here it gets a little interesting. We have to watch out for K here, K, and also later on for H and H. Let's focus on the K ending here, key. So what did we learn? We learned that we just ignore the K. So we get rid of both letters. Hladký, smooth. So we are left with hlad, with the hunger, hlad. Then we add ší, hlad, ší. Easy, right? Sladký, sweet. We also remove the last two letters, the K as well. Sladší, sladší. Nízký, get rid of K and Y. Nízší. No, this one is irregular. A little bit. So, just like krátký, short. This one means narrow, and it also is going to become even smaller, narrower. We get rid of the accent here. Ni, and also Z would take an extra háček. Now we have to compensate for this lost accent. So it is pronounced as nižší. Nižší. Nobody really says it like this. We say nižší, nižší, as if it was just one letter. Sh. Nižší is correct. Now what happens with h? Suchý, dry. CH, h, changes to sh. this change might not be new for you if you study the cases, because the locative for the feminine nouns like střecha, you know that the locative would make the sh na střeše. So there is nothing new, right? What's gonna happen? Suchý. We take away the last letter, last vowel, and we know that we cannot keep in there, so we say su, sh, and then we still have to add the same ending, sushi. So we are left with 2 letters, sh, sushi, sushi, pronounced as 1 letter, sushi. The same will happen with the word tichý, silent, quiet. H converts to sh. We will write tish, and then we add another she, tishi, tishi, quieter. And drahý, H here changes to ž. We get rid of the last vowel, dra, then h becomes ž, drash, she, drashi. We also read it as sh, because j and sh together make one sound, drashi, drashi. It's a little weird, right? So these are the endings that would change. But the good news is, the superlative is easy, we just add nej. Nej. So let's read them together. Hladký, hladší, nejhladší. Sladký, sladší, nejsladší. Nízký, nižší, nejnižší. Suchý, suší, nejsuší. Tichý, tižší, nejtižší. Drahý, dražší, nejdražší. Výborně. I have one more thing to tell you. Not every adjective that finishes with ky would do this. Some of them are irregular, and it's something that you just have to memorize. For example, hebký does not act like this. Hezký, křehký, lehký a měkký. Okay, these are 5 examples. There are more of them. Hebký means smooth. So what happens is that K changes to ch, and then we simply add e. That's the last ending I was mentioning at the beginning. So we are left with hepchi, hepchi, which sounds like someone sneezes, hepchi, but it's not. Smoother, hepchi. And if you want to say the most smooth, it would be nej hepchi, the same thing. Hezký, nice, pretty. Now you tell me how to do this. We follow the same procedure. K becomes ch, and then we add I. Hezčí, hezčí. Dneska je hezčí počasí než včera. Today the weather is nicer than yesterday. Hezčí počasí. Křehký, fragile. The same thing. You tell me what to do. I'm listening. Křehčí, křehčí. Lehký means light or easy. Lehčí, lehčí. Měkký, soft. Same thing. Měkčí, měkčí. Okay, that's interesting, right? So be careful with this ending ky. Learn adjectives that undergo this change, and then know that some of them also do a different thing. It can be frustrating that it's sometimes not very clear how these adjectives work in Czech. There are rules, there are many exceptions. Memorize it, because then you won't be surprised. I'm trying to give you an explanation with rules that don't work 100%, not even 90%, maybe like 75%. So that's already quite a bit to remember. It is good to know how these endings work, what connects with what, and that nej is always at the beginning to mark the superlative. And by the way, it's all one word, we never separate these. But when you learn words that you know you're going to be using, memorize them. Just like we did together, we were saying hladký, hladší, nejhladší. Try to also write them down or remember how to write them, pronounce them. And now the last thing, brace yourself for the most common irregular adjectives. Also, if you want to engage in learning Czech without being overwhelmed by grammar, please take a look at my ebook, My First Czech Adventure, and use the promo code ADVENTURE for 20% discount. 6 irregular adjectives. Luckily, these are so common that I'm sure you've heard their forms and you won't be surprised. We have dobrý, špatný, dlouhý, velký, malý, vysoký. So what changes, their stem, this base form changes, or they all change very much. But what you can be sure of, the endings or the prefix here will be the same. So even if you don't know that word, you will be able to identify that, oh, this is an adjective that says it's more or is the most. I'll show you. So dobrý, and then lepší, and if you want to say the best is nejlepší, as one word. Dobrý, lepší, nejlepší. Good, better, the best. In English it's irregular too, so no complaints here. Špatný, bad, also quite different. Horší, worse. Horší, the worst. Nejhorší, one word. Špatný, horší, nejhorší. Dlouhý, long. This one is not that crazy. Delší. And then nejdelší. Dlouhý, delší, nejdelší. Careful, it's not další, delší. Delší with e means longer. Další means next. Velký, big. Větší and největší. Velký, větší, největší. Malý, small. Menší and then nejmenší. Malý, menší, nejmenší. Vysoký, tall. This one is fun. Vyšší, also double eš. Vyšší, nejvyšší. Vysoký, vyšší, nejvyšší. Let's read them together. Dobrý, lepší, nejlepší. Špatný, horší, nejhorší. Dlouhý, delší, nejdelší. Velký, větší, největší. Malý, menší, nejmenší. Vysoký, vyšší, nejvyšší. Okay, perfect. Just memorize these. But as you can see, the endings are so clear, and here the prefix ne can tell you everything that you need to know about those words, except their meaning, but you can figure that out yourself. Don't be discouraged. If this is too much, you can always get saved by the words víc and míň, or více and méně. Víc means more, míň means less. So let's say you really don't remember how to say more expensive. So you say, okay, that's drahý. And then if you don't know how to say dražší, you just say, je to víc drahý. We say this also. To je ode mě všechno. I'll be happy if you write me some comments and you can maybe give more examples of some adjectives that I didn't mention here and how you would use them in these two forms. Thank you so much for watching. Děkuji, že jste se dívali. Ahoj za týden.